I get to share with you a nightmare I created for myself, an absolute hell that I had to go through the last 2 nights I spent in Mount Shasta before I got out of there for good. It was scary, it was hell, but I don't get scared. I'm not afraid of ghosts, but I can't imagine many humans would have tolerated what I went through very well. You wouldn't have stayed, but I am explaining this because I created this. I'm going to explain how this horrible thing happened. Like stuff happens in your life all the time. But I created it with my thoughts. Here's what happened. Jackson showed up at the perfect time. The bridge was pretty much written, done, to finish my bathroom. Jackson for 3 weeks, all trades back and forth, getting everything navigated magically. Poof, it was done. I could leave. I could leave my house. I was done. It was like unreal. Was I ready? Probably not. Prior to Jackson, I had other people come to give me quotes. One guy came and he looked down, he's looking at the holes and he goes, "Oh, I see rat poop." Boom. Rat poop, rat poop, rats. I have rats. I have rats. So you guys, this is how our minds work as humans. And I don't do this anymore, but I don't have anyone to remind me except for the dead people. And they certainly tried for a long time. So here's what happened. He just pointed out there could be rats. So I'm like, oh my God, I thought I'd heard something in my attic at one point. So I talked to my neighbor behind me and I borrowed his big humane trap. And I loaded this trap up in the attic and I caught a rat. I had my other neighbor help come and get it. We got this and we got it out of my house. And so I returned the trap. I was so happy to be done. And then I heard more noise. So I went and got the trap again. And basically, let's just say this went on for a long time, a really long time. I'm thinking I have rats. I am thinking about rats in my house, and I would never hurt anything. The dialogue I've had with God over these last 2 years, 2 months, 3 months, has been comical. You would not think it's funny, but it's been, I know I am here to receive this book and it's critical that I did it and I did. And now I'm on the other side. We made a documentary. Everything is explained. And the book, once you see it, it'll be like, it'll blow your mind. You couldn't even make this stuff up. Nobody could. I couldn't have. So I had to go through this whole season of disappearing and surrendering and being put in that space to receive the book. And it was time for me to leave, and I have no humans in my life. Rich was my neighbor, and Shashi, the cat lady around the corner. They were the only people I knew. All I wanted to do over these last few years was have a really creative way of dying because I knew I wasn't going anywhere. So I had conversations with God constantly about different ways I could die. And I had my recording studio I built in my guest room, which I never used. And I knew I could hang myself from that. So all these little thoughts, it was like kind of a joke. Like you could do this, because no matter what, my life would not be taken. That's the whole bottom line. I'm here because of this book and because of what I'm going to share, sharing my stories clearly. So I knew my life is going to be taken, but if I have the paper with me, I will take a picture of it and I will put it here for you to look at. All the things I wrote just over one piece of paper. This was over a long period of time, different ways. I'm like, it's time to die, time to check out, just on this poster. So if it's here, I had it. So on one particular night, I'm sitting in my recliner, fire is going, and I'm looking at the mountain. And there's rats in my house. I have rat traps. I'm told I get a picture of Decon. Decon was a manufacturing plant in Massillon, Ohio, because I worked there and I had people, I sent temporaries there to work at this factory. And we were like, should we send people to work there? Because it's poison. They're working with poison. It's to get rid of rats, rat poisoning. So when I got the vision of Decon, I'm like, ooh, I'm not going to eat rat poison. Why would you even suggest that? Because I would not hurt a fly. I save spiders. It didn't cross my mind that I needed to get something strong because these rats were multiplying or whatever. So I thought it was a way to off myself. And I'm like, I'm not using Decon. So it turned out that I had quite a rat infestation and quite a problem. It was horrid. I knew they were there. They were pretty much in the laundry room. I would move my couch and I would find piles of peanut shells. It was like psycho constantly. You move something like, they're still here. They ate through plastic. So they're gone now. They're gone clearly. I couldn't have sold my house. But what happened was I knew they were there and I did put Decon. I put Decon. I had my neighbor help me. It's like, I'm going to kill these mothers because at this point, they were going to kill me. It was so bad. It was horrible. It was horrible. The last 2 nights in Mount Shasta, you couldn't have lived through this. See, I live with ghosts, and so I'm used to weird shit happening. I pee in the middle of the night every night. So it was 3:30. I woke up and I had to go pee. And I was heading in my bathroom In my bathroom, I heard a banging on the wall behind the toilet, and there's a cabinet, and the cabinet is rattling. It's moving. And I'm like, I squat real fast and I dive out of there. And I'm like, oh my God, this noise was unbelievable. It was banging on the wall right behind me. So then I get out and I'm like, oh my God, then I heard another noise. And I walked through the house. My washing machine started filling. It was like banging on the loudest banging ever. And then the washing machine. So I'm like, oh my God. And so I lift up the lid. I'm like, and I go back to bed. I don't know how. The next day, I took the cabinet out of my bathroom and I got rid of it because it was moving. At 3:30 in the morning. At 3:30 in the morning, I had to get up to pee, but I woke up to the banging. It was so loud. It was in my bathroom behind the toilet. So I go in there and now I'm like, oh, you're not doing this. So I bang on the wall. I bang and it bangs back. And it's not stopping. So then I step out in the hall and my washing machine starts filling. I can't take it anymore. So I went, I unplugged it. And the next day I woke up and I was shown I'm out of here, and I booked a place starting November 14th, but it was November 13th. And so I went and spent the night at Shashi's house and I couldn't go back to Mount Shasta. But what happened after that, it dropped me to my knees, you guys. And this is what happens. This is why your lives get so screwed up. That guy showed me there was rat poop. So it brought rats to my mind. I borrowed Shay's traps to get rid of the rats that were in my mind. And then I got another trap. And then I got decon. I was thinking about having rats. So because I thought I had rats, I had rats. I had rats because I thought I had rats. I walked in the house and I remember I walked in and I remembered that I was bringing this on. I fell to the floor laughing and crying because I don't have anyone human who can say, you're thinking about this. You did this. You brought it on. I had nobody to guide me except for the dead people, and they're trying. They're showing me decon, but I think it's a way for me to off myself. So I had to get out of there, and I never went back. But that was when I did videos. When I did go back and I filmed the documentary, I had to go back and bless the house, and I fell in love with my house again. It's a wonderful house. I just could never be there again because of everything I had to go through to live there, to receive the bridge. It was hell, absolute hell. I did end up dying, and they brought my body back to life. That was nothing compared to rats. That was nothing. That was like over quickly. But that's what the documentary is about. So whatever you're thinking about, you get. The second I dropped to my knees and I remembered I brought on rats, the rat problem was gone. I had Orc in there and they put traps, and they caught one. But the rats that were locked in the house before the bathtub couldn't get out, and they were out of food. When I opened the cupboard, when I thought they were gone, and I opened the cupboard under the kitchen sink, they ate my Dawn dish soap. There was rat poop in Dawn dish soap. Yeah, you just can't. When you think about things, it gets worse and worse and worse. And then I'm killing things, which I don't kill things. But yeah, it's like your sanity's worth it. So whatever you're thinking about, stop. Just stop it. The second you stop and you agree that you created it, it's gone. And then your house sells, it's over. I brought on the rats. And all the videos I did, I talked about them as ghosts because I didn't want to say the word rats because that kept them active. But no, it's just like I created it. Delay of game, but now house is sold. We're done here. What you think about, you create. That's all there is.